Hey everyone, Gil here at Camppatton Family Compound in Idaho. As you can tell, I'm doing a VR to Anthony here at Palmetto Prepared. And at first I wasn't going to do one, but then a couple other guys did it. Steve at Corsair Trainers and Reed at Manifestations of Imagination also did it. And I kind of liked their take on it, but it wasn't what my take was going to be. And I figured I would go ahead and do one here just so to round out the perspective on this. Now, when Anthony first started doing it, as he started his video, he mentioned, it was 90 days out was, hey, we got an election coming. And he listed some things that, that the election might possibly cause and stuff. But from my perspective, the presidential election is not an issue at all. It's not going to cause everything to collapse. It's not going to, cause civil war. Like, oh, it's going to cause civil war. The right's going to be fighting the left if the left wins. The left's going to be fighting the right if the right wins. No. Okay. But like he continued on in his video and talked about other things that are possibly going to happen. And so if you have 90 days to prepare for whatever you see as the most likely scenario of what's going to happen to the world, what are you going to do in 90 days? So let me go on here, take this on. I'm going to switch this up a little bit so you can see a little bit better here what I'm going to be talking about here. Okay. Got my things out of order. Okay, so total economic collapse as caused by another event. No, it's not going to be the presidential election, in my opinion. But what could cause a total economic collapse? Well, I kind of agree with Reed. Manifestation of Imaginations, an E.M.P is one of the things most likely to cause a total economic collapse because, hey, the power grid goes down, everything goes down. Other possibility, also agreed with Reed, is a foreign power first strike. Something happens and worldwide and someone launches an attack on us and devastates our, not just our economic system, our infrastructure and everything. That's going to bring down the economy totally. When Reed was on my live stream for Tactical Tuesday for the one number 310, which was 12-volt power hacks to get you by in a pinch, we talked about the electrical grid failure. And if it totally shuts down, either from E.M.P or from another reason, which I'll talk about here in a second, it's not as easy to bring it back up online as everybody thinks. He mentioned that the electrical grid generators and systems and controllers and stuff depend on there already being a current in the system for them to sync to. And one of the guys working down there in Puerto Rico and lost their power, they had all sorts of problems trying to bring that up. And that was just a small system, real small system down there in Puerto Rico. And it took them quite a while, and they had several false starts bringing it back up. So what could bring down the electrical grid failure that could cause a total collapse? One of the things which a lot of people don't like to talk about is a terrorist strike on it, which would be they plan out and they take out certain key parts of it, transmission lines, and basically cause the electrical grid to implode upon itself and shut down. And once it totally shuts down, that's it. Your cell phones might still work for a while, and you might have internet for a while, but when the electrical grid goes down, it's going to affect the economy in ways that people can't imagine. And so let's talk about that a little bit here. So what it means is all banks, savings and loans, credit unions, all that stuff, gone. Because, hey, there's no power to keep the computers going, to run the buildings, to run, it's all going to collapse. So that stuff's going to be gone. Pipeline supplies will fail. Your natural gas, your water, your sewer. Now, of course, sewer's not supply, it's just the opposite, but it's still a part of the system. If no electricity, all these things are going to fail. Natural gas, they pump the natural gas, they monitor it, they have electrical devices along the way, make sure they don't overpressurize, all the stuff, gone. All that stuff's going to go away. Trucking system will fall apart. Yeah, they'll have diesel for a while, but still no electricity. The warehouses are going to be dark. The computer systems aren't going to be working. They're not going to be able to know what to ship, what, where. So that's gone. Oil production and refinement is stopped. They could probably set up some sort of generator system to try to get it going, but it's going to take a while to set that up. And in the meantime, they've stopped producing oil. They've stopped refining it. It's not being delivered. And so all that's going to fall apart as well. So basically, a total economic collapse and caused by most likely a power grid failure of some sort is going to wipe everything out. And I say power grid failure, I mean, like I said, it's dead. It's not coming back anytime soon. Okay, it also means brick and mortar stores and internet stores are gone. Cash will soon be useless because anytime there's any sort of major, economic problem, the faith in that paper you have in your hand goes down the toilet. And so it's, people all of a sudden, like a loaf of bread now all of a sudden costs, $500. And because, it's cash is so useless, blah, 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 blah. And it's going to go out. Gold and silver are soon to become less reliable as well, because, hey, there's no way to set a price on what gold and silver are worth. Same thing goes for precious gems as well. Food. It'll soon be that what you can grow or trade for is all you're going to get because the stores are out of business. All right. There's nobody going to be delivering more food. And if you're in the city, that's a big problem. Even if you're in the suburbs of the city, that's a big problem. Or even and you get out into the rural areas, it's still going to be a big problem because how many people grow all of their own food or can grow it? Clothing. Hey, gone. Because, hey, nobody's making, the manufacturing plants aren't making clothing anymore. You can't buy it. So you're stuck on that. So I have 90 days to prepare for whatever's going to happen. I know for a fact this is going to happen. Nothing's going to be able to change it. Nothing I can do to stop it. Nothing anybody can do. It's coming and it's going to happen in 90 days, and that's it. Well, first of all, I'm withdrawing all of our savings from our savings accounts. I'm going to open up a bunch of new credit cards. Now, this gets a little unethical here, what I'm going to be talking about here, but hey, it's the survival of my family. All right. I'm going to go out and I'm going to start buying essential items, what I consider essential items. And so, canning jars, lids and more lids, because the jars last for quite a while until you break them. Lids are one-time use only, so you're going to need years worth of lids to get by. Cargo containers. I'm going to go out and buy a bunch of cargo containers. Now, some of my stuff is out of order here, and later on I'll talk about it'll come up. But for the cargo containers, I'm hiring a company to come in and pour cement a big cement pad that I can put 10, 15 cargo containers on, and you'll find out why as we go along here. Also, like Anthony, Reed, and Steve, of course, their trainers all said, lumber, get some wood supplies. You're gonna need, once it's gone, it's gone. You're not gonna be able to be getting it. So I'm gonna load a couple of those cargo containers up with plywood, 2x4s, 4x4s, 4x6s, nails, insulation, roofing material, plumbing, indoor, outdoor plumbing, windows, etc. I'm going to load a couple of those up, pack them full tight, because going to be needing it. Hey, there's going to be other things coming along that are going to cause me to need it. What else do I got to do? Solar panels. Yeah, I'm going to contact one of these solar companies, get them to come in and set a system up, because I would like to be able to do it on my own, but in the immediate time, going to get a solar panel system bought, brought up, and then I'm going to buy extra panels, inverters, controllers, and wires, because things wear out and break, and that's going to go in one of the cargo containers for storage. Battery bank system. The iron phosphate lithium batteries, those super duper ones, I'm going to get a bunch of those. And it's some of the ones that they'll store where you don't use them, that you can store them forever, like even the lead acid batteries. If you don't have the acid in them, you buy the big truck batteries or construction batteries. You buy them dry, and you get the electrolyte, and you add it to it later. I'm going to get a bunch of that too. Store it. Wind generators. I'm going to get a couple wind generators put up on the property, because it blows around here a lot. And so even at night, it blows a little bit. So I want to be able to produce power all the time. We don't have an ability to do hydroelectric here, so I'm going to be relying on solar and wind generators for power. Ammunition, gunpowder, black powder, reloading equipment. Gonna have after a while, you're gonna have to be going hunting for food and stuff, but there's other reasons why you want to have the ammunition and stuff. Also, I want to go out and get the rifles and pistols I've been drooling over, wanting to go get, researching everything else for years. Get the rifles and pistols for all the members of the family, both modern and black powder. Because unless you have the ability, someone has the ability to make modern gunpowder, black powder is a lot easier to make, and will return to the norm, unless something dramatically happens in the future here, to recover from this. And it's going to take, a couple decades to recover from this. Bows and arrows, obviously, another choice. Clothing, going to go out and buy all the clothing that I'll need for the rest of my life. Shoes, hats, and bolts of clothing for my wife and my daughter to make stuff for whatever needs to be done, or to repair clothing. Also buying clothing for all the grandkids will need as they grow up, and my wife and my boys and everybody else. So we're just buying, and that's going to go in one of the cargo containers, along with the solar panels and stuff. The next thing I'm going to get livestock, chickens, pigs, a couple beef cattle, some sheep, a couple horses, and a couple of livestock guard dogs. Get some trained ones, take care of the livestock and everything, help protect it. Livestock, along with that, it's going to be, setting up the areas, getting everything set up. A couple of the cargo containers will be moved down where the livestock are going to be at, and become, metal barns for them and stuff for the winter times and stuff. So that's why I'm getting a lot of cargo containers, because the instant building right there. Rechargeable batteries, small ones. I was talking about, like your your AA, AAA, C, D, rechargeable batteries for power tools and stuff. Get a bunch of them. Just load up, because ain't going to be getting any more. And want to get everything done, everything to take care of for, years. The next thing I'm going to do is going to go out and buy a Bobcat loader, a Bobcat excavator, a 40 horsepower farm tractor, and the Bobcat utility quad, which you can actually also put. It has a 3-point hitch on the back, so you can put some farm attachments on the quad. Diesel fuel tanks. Get a couple 5,000 gallon tanks and get them stocked up, because all that farm equipment stuff there is all diesel fuel. One thing I forgot to put on there, since I'm going diesel, I'm going to pick up a couple diesel pickups. One for me, one for my wife, and that way we have something to get around with as well in the future. That should not just be a diesel fuel tank, a fuel plant, a biodiesel plant. They have those small ones you can get, like a little trailer mounted one, that if you can make biodiesel fuel with. I want to get one of those. Next thing I have to do, garden seeds, pasture seeds, stock up on seeds. Seeds will keep longer than just 1 year, like you see on the packet. This is good for this year only. No, we've used seed packets that are 4 or 5 years old, longer, and they still germinate. They don't have as high germination rate, but they still germinate, and you can always harvest your own seeds as well. Pasture seeds, so I can go grow stuff like alfalfa and clover and stuff for the animals to graze on. Bulk grains for animals, the alfalfa, and excuse me, buy and store up a bunch of alfalfa for the first year or so for all the livestock. Livestock mids, get everything I need for that. One of the things to do, talking about the livestock mids, is all the antibiotics and stuff listed in Doc Bones and Nurse Amy's antibiotics book. Get the stuff that's good for humans, and lists the expiration dates and stuff that they list in their book. Great resource to go to. Excuse me. People food, bulk grains, rolled oats, rice, wheat. One of the cargo containers is going to be full of bulk grains. Going to get a freeze dryer or two, several dehydrators, extra freezers, because freezers will wear out. So here I put pouring the concrete pad down here. Talk about it. We're going to pour that up above earlier for the concrete pallet, for the cargo containers to get on as soon as I get them. One of the cargo containers I'm going to fill it with pallets of Portland cement, and another of them with bags of concrete mix. Portland cement, with all the gravel and stuff there is around here. When I worked for a construction company, we actually made soil cement, and it had the test rating of a 5-sack mix of concrete using soil and Portland cement. So there's an ability to make more stuff there. Going to get a couple park model travel trailers. Now, the park models are made for cold weather. Not just they're made for living in a travel trailer park. That's what they're called, park models. And they're, for the cold winters and stuff, they're all extra insulated, and they're good for that. So I'm going to get a couple of that for family members. Water tanks, fresh water storage tanks for people. Get a couple of those, put them in one of the cargo containers. Now, the cargo container I put the water tanks in I will insulate those that cargo container, so that with just a little small heater in there, it'll keep it well above freezing no matter how cold it gets out there. Get a couple well pumps. Get the well here fixed up. Get a company in to re-clean it out and or if they have to, put in a new well. Get that done. 55-gallon barrels, metal and plastic and metal. Yes, I want to get a bunch of the open top plastic barrels. Hundreds of uses for them. One of the uses I want to do is I'll take at least 200 of them and fill them full of concrete and sink into the concrete eye bolts into them so I can pick them up and move them around, because they make great barriers for a lot of things. I make movable fences and barriers for the livestock, and they also stop bullets. Fruit trees. Get the orchard finished up, plant fruit trees other places around, other than just what the orchard was originally going to be, and expand a lot of stuff. Going to get windbreak trees. Oh, we need windbreak trees around here. And plant it around on the perimeter of the property. It does several things. It blocks the wind so it doesn't devastate the garden as much, the plants in the garden, and it gives privacy so people don't see as much as what I have. Some shade trees. Obviously, it's got to be some shade trees in certain areas that other than the fruit trees. I'm talking shade trees that are evergreens, pines, spruces, stuff like that. Livestock processing equipment. Hey, we got chickens. We need meat. How to process the chickens. Hey, got beef cows. We're going to need to process the cows. We'll have sheep. We need to process some of them too. That includes not only processing for meat, but the shearing equipment for getting the wool off. And along with that, which I don't have on the list, which I forgot, and I'll be adding it to my other list, is this what you need to turn that wool sheared off the sheep into clothing. Read at Manifestations of Imagination told me, we had discussions on it, and he recommends getting a methane processing plant rather than a hydrogen generator. Hydrogen generator runs off electricity, and it produces hydrogen gas that you put in tanks and you can store. And he said that the hydrogen is more unstable, dangerous, whatever, than methane is, and methane processing does not have the energy draw usage that is, because it's more a natural occurring thing. And I got plenty of animals now, and I'm going to be having animal byproducts that more than I can use in the garden, and so I'll be able to make methane gas. Other thing on here, DVD discs, players, and TVs. Hey, I don't want everyone to go stir crazy in the wintertime. So all the movies we ever thought about getting, I'm going to get. And a couple extra players because, hey, they will wear out, as do TVs. And I think, is that it? That's it. So that's the if I have 90 days and I know it's a total, for what I'm prepared, what I think is happening, my worst fear is a total economic collapse and a loss of the power grid. And so that's what I would do. Now, some of you go, well, that's not very ethical of you to go out and get a bunch of credit cards and rack them all up, and the thing's going to collapse and you're never going to have to pay it off. You're right. It's not very ethical. But I'm not going to let my family die. So I'm trying. I will get used. Like I said, I'm going to withdraw all our savings and 401k stuff. So maybe able to cover it all with that. Don't know. But hey, when it's all, I want to think. Oh, that's one thing I forgot. To put on that list. I have it on my other list. I just forgot to put it on this one, and that is to go out and get gold coins, bars, ingots, silver, all that, get precious metals, and that I'll be able to use along with bartering and trading later on when things start to come back together for the family. The society starts rebuilding stuff. We'll be probably going back either the gold standard or silver standard or just a precious metal standard to pay for things. It won't be paper money for quite a while. So, go over here on this. So that's what I have planned. What my idea is for a 90 days to prepare. Yours is different. I know I like what Steve at Corsair Trainer said about situations, because he compared to where Anthony is over there in the Carolinas, out in the rural area, to where he is in LA in the suburban area. Total different requirements of things they're going to need for a lot of things. But for me, I look beyond just surviving. I'm thinking on this list for thriving and growing. And so that's why I picked all these things. I would go out in 90 days and get things done around here. If it's 90 days, everything's collapsed, I'm not going to try to do it myself. I'm going to hire people in. I'm going to get a crew in to pour the concrete pads. I'm going to get a solar company come in, put in solar panels, get that all wired up. I'm going to get a lot of stuff done, and then I'm going to buy the equipment that once everything collapses, I can keep on doing it myself with my boys and my daughter and her husband and stuff, and we can grow and thrive in a total collapse situation. So, comments down below are welcome. Please don't just slam me on everything. If you have something negative, say, oh, you screwed up on this, put an answer to that. All right, if this is wrong, what would you say the right thing is? So include that down below there too, because that way we can all learn and grow. All righty. So as always, stay happy, stay safe, stay prepared, and I'll see you in the next video.